got something new today. Very important package. All right, I'm going to put this on the ground and then pull the battery out. So there she is. This is SOK's new 280 amp hour battery. What's unique about this is that the battery management system is Bluetooth enabled, so they have an app so you can monitor the state of charge. This battery also has a built-in heater, so if we're in freezing conditions, it'll heat the battery so that it can be charged without damage. One of the things I like about these batteries is that they're in a steel case that is user accessible. So it's not a plastic sealed box. So 10 years from now, when the warranty's expired, I could still open this up and replace damaged cells. If maybe one cell goes bad, I can take it apart, slide out an old cell, and put in a new cell. Just like you put batteries into a flashlight. It's a little bit more involved. You have to remove a few screws, but if you're careful, any user could do it. So if you take the top off, you can see there's a beautiful aluminum extruded case, and inside there are 4 lithium cells connected together to give us the 12.8 volts. On the side down here, you can see where the BMS is, and you can see the bus bars that connect to the BMS and to the outside lugs. And one thing to look at is to see the build quality and how thick are those lugs, and the thickness of the wires that are connecting everything. You can see the temperature sensor here. I'm not going to go any further disassembling this battery, but underneath there must be a heating pad, and you can see the leads to the BMS to be sure that the cells are balanced. So in the future, 7 to 10 years from now, I'm sure technology will have changed by then, but I could take these cells out and replace them if necessary. If one cell went bad or became imbalanced, I could disassemble and replace one of these cells. Much better than having a completely glued case where you're kind of stuck. But right now, I have great confidence in SOK as a company. They seem to be doing really well. And from what I understand, they're doing a really good job supporting their customers. Why are we adding this battery to our system? We hardly ever get below 50%. But one of the things we did add this year was we added a portable air conditioner, which I'll have a review on in the future. So I expect if we use that a couple nights, we might need more power. And I do not want to constantly get below 50% power, even though the lithium batteries can handle that. It's just a guy thing. More is better, and why not? This battery here has some features that these 3-year-old ones don't have, and that is the SOK battery has an app that will allow me to monitor the state of charge and even monitor the voltage on each cell inside the case. The case is user serviceable, just like this battery case is. I can take out the cells or replace them if it's ever needed, but I don't expect that to be needed for 7 to 10 years. But if something happened and I needed to open it up to be able to check the cells to make sure they were very close in voltage, I could do that. If technology changes and I want to update the BMS inside, I can open either one of these cases and do that. This battery has a built-in heater so that if we get into a freezing condition, the battery would automatically heat itself so it could be charged. Now, I don't ever expect to be in a freezing condition because these are stored inside the van and I'm going to be sleeping in there, so I'm going to turn on my heater. So I don't think that'll ever happen. But there is a possibility that I could leave this for a week or two with the solar on, charging, and then if I wasn't in the van, it would take care of itself. This BMS also has a low temperature shutoff so that if the temperature does drop and the heating pad for some reason isn't working, it will shut it off and not hurt the cells inside. This one doesn't have that feature. All right. This case is user serviceable. You can easily take the top off here and service or exchange the BMS, which I might do in a couple years. You can take the front of the case off and service the battery cells. They easily slide out from this case, no problem. Two of the features this case has that the SOK doesn't have is this one has a built-in fuse. So you can unscrew these two screws here, and inside there's a 300 amp fuse. And also, this one has an on-off switch. And why would I want the on-off switch? Well, it makes it convenient when I want to charge one battery at a time. So I'll be able to turn this one on or off to charge the other batteries individually before I complete my installation, because it's good to have these batteries at the same voltage before they're interconnected. On the SOK, I needed to put the fuse on the lug, which I did here, and you'll see I selected one that has two lugs. This fuse right here goes on the lug, and it's rather unique. You're not going to stop at like Home Depot or Lowe's and be able to buy one of these. So you need to carry a spare. And by selecting the version with the two lugs, that way, basically my spare is always here. So if something catastrophic happened and this fuse burned out, I could fix the problem and then just move the cable down to this fuse. I'll, of course, keep a spare on board, but you know how it is. You might have a hard time finding where you put that fuse. So this way, it's right here. Also, if I ever did expand and put another battery in, I would need one of these that has two lugs when I add the second battery. So, is it necessary? We had 400 amp hours, and now we're going to have 680 amp hours. Probably not necessary, but like I said, it's a guy thing. More is better, and we won't have any worries about power in the future. If you're looking for a battery, I've tested this one out. It's supposed to have 280 amp hours, and in this video, you'll see in the test, it came out with 298.3 amp hours, exceeding what's labeled on the front. So I was very happy with that. If you're interested in any of the products you see in this video, including this lug or the battery, please check out the links in the description. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Be happy to help you out where I can.